Caitlin Clark trading buckets for laughs with a two-time Super Bowl champion. That's exactly what happened when the WNBA superstar joined Eli Manning for what might be her most entertaining interview yet. From Papa Shot showdowns to pudding contests and shocking confessions, this isn't your typical athlete sit-down. The Manning-Clark chemistry has fans and media buzzing about what might be the most authentic glimpse we've seen of basketball's biggest star. What started as a simple interview has turned into a viral sensation that's showing us a whole new side of women's basketball's brightest light. When Eli Manning launched his show, few expected it would become a go-to platform for seeing elite athletes in a completely new light. But that's exactly what happened when WNBA sensation Caitlin Clark stepped into Eli's world for an interview that's already being called the most revealing and entertaining of her professional career. The video begins with an immediate display of the competitive fire that's made Clark famous. As the two square off in a game of Papa Shot basketball, Manning jokes about having two balls while Clark has a whole rack. "How many do you need?" she quips, already showing the personality that would shine throughout the entire segment. What makes this interview instantly different is how Clark immediately matches Manning's playful energy for someone who's faced such intense media scrutiny. Watching her relax and genuinely have fun offers viewers a rare glimpse behind the carefully managed public persona we typically see. The Papa Shot competition reveals something fascinating. Despite being one of basketball's greatest shooters, Clark initially claims, "I'm actually really bad at Papa Shot." It's a moment of self-deprecation that quickly proves false as she jumps out to an early lead. Manning eventually rallies to win, prompting him to exclaim, "I've never won a game against a guest before." This playful back and forth sets the tone for an interview that feels less like a media obligation and more like two athletes genuinely enjoying each other's company. The internet immediately seized on this authenticity, with clips of their basketball showdown generating millions of views within hours of being posted. The sit-down portion begins with Manning acknowledging Clark's meteoric rise. "It wasn't that long ago you were playing high school in Des Moines, then you go to Iowa, first pick in the WNBA draft. Has it all sunk in? I mean, 5 years ago, you're in high school, now you're on the Eli Manning show." Clark's response reveals a surprising self-awareness. "I never thought this day would come. It honestly has all moved really fast. I feel like it's just one thing to the next. I feel like I was just in high school. I feel like I should still be in high school." Honestly, this moment of reflection stands out because we rarely hear Clark speak about the speed of her journey. For someone who's handled fame with remarkable poise, this acknowledgement that everything has happened really fast offers insight into the human behind the highlight reels. It's a reminder that despite her composure, Clark has experienced a life transformation few can comprehend, going from high school student to national icon in just 5 years. The reference to Indianapolis as a pretty good city draws a knowing laugh from Manning, whose brother Peyton became a legend there with the Colts. This subtle football connection foreshadows a revelation later in the interview that would send social media into overdrive. When Manning asks which transition was harder, high school to college or college to the pros, Clark doesn't hesitate. "Definitely college to the pros for sure." She explains that her college transition was somewhat cushioned by COVID restrictions, while the pro leap was jarring. You get drafted, and then basically you show up to a new city, and you start playing games in less than a month. This perspective on the unique challenges WNBA rookies face, having virtually no adjustment period between draft day and their first professional game, provides context many fans might not have considered. Unlike NBA draftees who have summer league and months of preparation, WNBA players are thrown immediately into competition. Clark's candid assessment of this difficulty speaks to the structural challenges women's professional basketball still faces, despite its growing popularity. Perhaps the most revealing moment comes when Manning asks about Clark's impact on women's basketball. "You've really popularized the game of women's basketball. I mean, do you ever think about that? It's not just basketball too. It's like all women's sports. Do you think about that? Or you just like, hey, I'm just playing basketball. having fun. Clark's response shows a remarkable grounding despite her cultural impact. I feel like I don't honestly think about it a ton. You just kind of go out there and try to do your job every single night. She adds thoughtfully, but the amount of fans that show up and cheer for us, whether we're at home or on the road, you never take that for granted. I always try to look around before the game starts and really appreciate that. This balance of humility and appreciation resonated strongly online, with many commenters noting how refreshing it is to see an athlete of Clark's stature maintain such perspective. The moment feels especially authentic because it's delivered not in a formal press conference, but in conversation with a fellow athlete who understands the spotlight. The way Clark frames her impact is particularly noteworthy. Rather than highlighting her personal achievements or brand growth, she focuses on the collective success, just how popular women's basketball has become on the college level, but also the professional level too. This team-first mentality has been central to Clark's appeal. She's consistently positioned herself as an ambassador for the game, rather than its individual star. The interview takes a turn toward the personal when Manning brings up Clark's jersey retirement at Iowa, when he points out that her number 22 was retired on February 2nd, 2 halves, noting that number is showing up a lot. Clark shares something surprising. Despite her deep Iowa connections, she's only been back twice since leaving for the WNBA. I honestly thought I would get back to Iowa City more than I have. It's only my second time back there since I left, she admits, providing insight into just how all-consuming her professional career has become. This comment reflects the reality of the WNBA schedule and Clark's numerous commercial obligations, which have left little time for revisiting the place where she became a household name. What makes this moment particularly poignant is how Clark immediately pivots to crediting others. It was fun to share with a lot of former teammates that came back and teammates that are still on the team and old coaches. You know, it wouldn't have happened without them. This consistent deflection of individual praise has become a Clark trademark, one that's helped her navigate the potential pitfalls of sudden fame. The conversation shifts to Clark's historic partnership with trading card company Panini, where she became the first female athlete to have an exclusive deal. Her eyes light up as she shares, "I was a kid that grew up collecting cards. Me and my older brother would just fight over them all the time." This glimpse into her childhood adds another layer to her relatability. The casual mention of childhood card collecting humanizes Clark in a way that carefully crafted marketing campaigns rarely achieve. It's a reminder that before she was breaking attendance records and signing groundbreaking endorsement deals, she was just another Midwestern kid trading cards with her siblings. This connection to basketball's collectible culture has helped Clark bridge different generations of fans, from those who grew up in the trading card boom of the 1990s to today's young collector discovering the hobby through social media. What follows is perhaps the most charming moment of the entire interview, the story of her parents distributing her rookie cards on Halloween. "My mom just carries them in her purse, and if little kids want to say hi or something, she always gives them to them," Clark explains. She then details how her father, left alone to handle trick-or-treaters while her mother attended a Taylor Swift concert in Indianapolis, resorted to handing out her trading cards instead of candy. Then random people the next few days just started showing up at the door, knocking and asking if they could have cards. She laughs, "So it kind of backfired a little bit, but it just showed how excited people were about it." This anecdote immediately went viral, with social media users charmed by both the image of Clark's father panic distributing valuable rookie cards and the revelation that her mother is a Swiftie. It's these unscripted personal details that make the interview feel so fresh compared to Clark's more standard media appearances. The Halloween card story also unintentionally highlights the skyrocketing value of Clark memorabilia. In the secondary market, her rookie cards have sold for thousands of dollars, making her father's impromptu distribution potentially one of the most expensive Halloween giveaways in history. The fact that neighborhood kids initially wanted the cards more than candy speaks volumes about how Clark has transcended sports to become a cultural phenomenon. particularly among young girls who now see professional basketball as a viable dream. The interview transitions to discuss the Caitlin Clark Foundation, where she explains her focus on uplifting children. It's been really fun to do that and give back to not only Iowa but now Indianapolis too. While brief, this segment showcases her commitment to community impact beyond basketball. Clark's mention of expanding her foundation work to Indianapolis signals her investment in her new home city, an important development for Fever fans eager to see their star player put down roots. For a franchise that has struggled with attendance in previous years, Clark's commitment to community building represents not just philanthropic work but smart business for the team's long-term stability in the market. The most entertaining portion comes when Manning challenges Clark to a game he calls Sink It or Say It, where she must answer tough questions unless she makes a putting shot to avoid them. The format brilliantly forces Clark to either reveal something potentially controversial or demonstrate her competitive putting skills. When asked which teammate would be least likely to pick up a dinner check, Clark laughs and says, "Oh God, good question," before sinking the putt on her first try. After some coaxing, she eventually names teammate Lexi Hull to much laughter. This segment showcases Clark's surprising golf prowess, a skill set not commonly associated with basketball players. Her ability to make clutch putts under pressure, banking in shots off the edge with precision, adds another dimension to her athletic profile. It also reveals her competitive nature extends beyond the basketball court, as she visibly celebrates each successful putt with the same intensity she shows after hitting a game-winning three-pointer. The second question, whether she'd prefer making a game-winning assist or draining a deep three, sees her immediately sink another putt, allowing her to dodge the question entirely. Her putting prowess becomes a running joke, with Manning clearly impressed by her unexpected golf skills. When asked which WNBA player she'd want to put in a dunk tank at a carnival, Clark misses her putt and must answer. After some hesitation, she names her Indiana Fever teammate Aaliyah Boston. "She's always talking crap to me, so get a little revenge." This playful call-out of her own teammate shows the comfortable relationship she's built in Indiana. The Clark-Boston dynamic has been a subject of intense interest for WNBA fans, with many seeing their partnership as the foundation of Indiana's future success. This light-hearted jab suggests a healthy rapport between the team's two young stars, the kind of good-natured ribbing that characterizes strong locker-room chemistry. For a Fever team looking to build a championship culture, this glimpse of their interpersonal dynamics provides encouraging signs. The final question reveals Clark's football fandom. Asked to name her favorite NFL player, she makes the putt but answers anyway. "I'm going Peyton Manning." With Eli standing right there, she adds, "I actually had a Peyton Manning jersey growing up. I hate to make you mad, Eli." Manning feigns offense before Clark adds, "I'm going Patrick Mahomes. You know I'm a big Chiefs fan." This revelation of Clark as a Peyton Manning fan, who now wears Eli's Giants jersey, perfectly captures the playful spirit of the entire interview. It's a moment of sports crossover that delighted fans of both football and basketball. The Manning connection adds another layer to Clark's All-American appeal, linking her to one of football's most beloved families and reinforcing her Midwestern roots. The segment concludes with a this or that game focused on sports movies. Clark's takes, preferring Happy Gilmore over Caddyshack, choosing Remember the Titans over Rudy, and most controversially, declaring Space Jam superior to Hoosiers, sparked immediate debate online. When Manning expresses shock at her Space Jam preference over what many consider basketball's definitive film, Clark doubles down. "It's my favorite movie," from Papa Shot showdowns to putting challenges and surprising movie takes. This Manning-Clark pairing delivered entertainment gold. We've seen Caitlin handle tough press conferences and post-game interviews, but this playful side shows exactly why she's connecting with fans beyond basketball. What was your favorite moment from their interview? Drop it in the comments below.